Hello, everybody. Special guests, dream team.
How we doing, guys?
Fun fact, I've never hit a podium without you.
This is true.
Never.
This is true.
And I don't think I ever would have.
I think it's fair to say it's literally all thanks to me.
Well, we've got a few new members, which is amazing,
Wow,
including
that member.
my mom has become a member. Mom, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Hope you're well, Bonnie. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Cousin Fred. Cousin Fred doesn't normally come on the lives. He must be here for you.
No. He probably was expecting Auntie Liz.
Yeah, sorry, Fred.
Sorry, Fred. But we're glad that you're up early and with us.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Never done this on this channel. Oh, and gifted 5 memberships. I'm in the club.
You are.
I am in the club.
Fred is so supportive of the Strongman community. He's a big fan.
Yeah. Was he at? He wasn't at Shaw, was he?
No, I don't think he could make sure. He came to OSG.
Yeah.
I think, Freddie, you coming to Vegas? Can't remember if you said you're coming to Vegas or not, but that's the next time we're in the States for Strongman. If
you haven't got tickets to Vegas yet, guys, I can't stress this enough. If you want to see live Strongman in America, Giants Live is going to be they're going to be the people who are going to bring it to you in droves. If you want Strongman in America, please go support the Vegas show. I think things sell differently in Vegas. They sell last minute, but it's certainly a lot of tickets to be had. So they sell out every show over here. Let's show them that North America has a bit of an appetite as well.
We're looking forward to Vegas as well. It's going to be a fun show. You know, we're going to probably have quite a bit of fun while we're in Vegas as well. So, it's a good opportunity to meet a lot of the athletes and probably get to spend some time with them outside of a competition.
Yeah, and proper holiday too. Yeah, Vegas, proper place.
Sorry for being late as well, but me.
Yeah, that's my fault. The card gets decoded. This is the stupidest thing. And I'm saying, if anyone has a product idea, I would absolutely love it. The card, if it touches your phone, does not work at all. And about 1 in 4 hotels seems to be this way. Drives me absolutely mental. So I got a new card, brought it to my room, touched my phone, decoded, had to go back down. So it's totally my fault. So apologies. Andrew, Logs has just posted a video about the rules. No surprises. Figure of 8 straps on deadlift. Logs start weight 170, 185, 200, 210, 220, 231. I actually think this, it's funny because this is the first time we put out the rules explanation, and it might be the least explanation required.
There's very few.
Other
than, the only real, I don't know how you felt. Obviously, you were being you in the rules meeting, asking questions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But other than the log, there's really not a lot that you can kind of worry too much about. And the only odd rule is that there's no time limit on the log. And a lot of people kind of, when you did the axle, they didn't realize this, but because you're in an arena show and they want to give people the best opportunity to get the record, it's down to the referee's discretion. So if you have your first attempt and you look like you've got a chance, they're going to let you have that second attempt and give you a bit of time in between.
Yeah.
If, however, it's clear that you just not got a chance and you're just kind of wasting time, then Magnus, who's the head referee, is going to say no. It's down to his discretion. I think the only person that's got a chance at world record is IMDb.
Yeah.
I think the rest of you are going to be looking at, I think there's not that many jumps, actually. So that 185, 200, and 210 are going to be the really important lifts.
There's about 6 guys who have said they're pressing 210. And there'll be about 1 guy who does it, I think.
I think potentially 2.
Me and Andre potentially, but of the 2 of us, I think one of us hits it. I couldn't even tell you which one of us, but I know that I'm capable. I know that Andre is capable. The funny thing is, I would be tied for second most likely to break the log lift world record in this show. And it has not even crossed my mind to attempt it.
No, I don't think we're there yet. Axel, it's much more effective lift for you. The log just requires that bit more tricep and shoulder strength. At the top.
I've been asked about split jerking the log.
Very, very difficult.
It is, and it's difficult to do full stop, but it's also then doubly difficult if you're using a different log in competition than in training.
That's the problem. This is the thing with this log. A lot of people, these big numbers in the gym, they come to the Giants Live, use this wooden log, and 9 times out of 10 lift less. And I'm talking about the best guys in the world. It's not just once. We sit consistently. And that's the thing with Strongman. Every bit of equipment is different. And if you're not used to the equipment, it can kind of throw you off a little bit. just even doing it indoors with lights can throw people off.
Yeah.
There's many factors. That's why even for you and Andre, you're both capable of 210, but you've got to execute perfectly.
Yeah.
And I've seen both of you fail those numbers when it doesn't when things aren't perfect. If the log just tilts ever so slightly forwards, if you come out of line, there's a lot. Whereas the 185, you're both just strong enough to muscle that up if you had to. Even if you when you go to 100%, that's when technique needs to be perfect. At 90, 85%, these guys are so strong that they can just get the weight up.
Yeah, and Andre, I mean, he could strict press 200. So you would assume that 200 would be, you would assume it's a guarantee.
But even on 200, even with his strict press, because of the way he presses, if it comes away from him, he'll lose that line. So he's an amazing log lifter, but he still needs to execute. He did an amazing, I think, 210 for a double.
Which is absurd.
He also, I don't know if you noticed, he posted a few videos after, and I spoke to him. He actually failed it the first 2 times.
Yeah.
But then he got 2 with it when he hit it right.
Yeah. And then he had the funniest response to your question of what he hopes to hit. And his response was that he hopes to have 210 on his shoulders just to feel it.
No. He said he wants to attempt 220.
Or 220, sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah. But he didn't say it in a way that he hopes to get it. He said it in a way, I hope to have it on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm like, mate, then just skip everything up to 220.
Just go for 220.
That's right. Just put it on your shoulders and I'll be happy.
Something some people ask is, like, do you reckon many people skip lifts? I can't see the need to skip many lifts unless you're Iron Bibby going for the record. The jumps are so few.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, even if you were doing it in training, if you were going to hit 210 in training, but it would be smarter for anyone to go 185, 200, 210 just to feel it out. Sure. Jorian, just watch your rules video, Laws. So much build up to the comp. Do you feel like there's been a lot of build up to this comp?
No, not a huge amount, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I've not put a huge amount of build up into this comp. Just this week, we've started kind of pushing it. It's a weird one, this one, because every comp is important, but this is very much, to me, and you probably feel the same. We haven't spoken about it, but to me, this comp is like, it's about pro athletes, making a living. Do you know what I mean? It's not like a world title. It's not even like the World Tour Finals, which is the Giants Live's biggest title. It's not like Europe's Strongest Man. I think the log lift is a bit more important in terms of, Iron Bibby's got that legitimate shot at the record, so that's quite exciting. And I think it's just a good, solid international show.
Yeah.
If you didn't win this competition, it wouldn't be the end of the world to us in terms of our year where we focus on comps that you want to be number one at. That's not to say Mitch isn't going to try.
It would bother me, but I dislike it.
It's I mean, you said before you want to win more Giants Lives, which is cool.
Yeah, well, if you take so I've won 10 shows. I've been in 19, and I've been in, I'd like to say 6 Giants Lives, and I've won 2 of them. It's like my win rate at Giants Live is worse than my win rate at major competitions.
Yeah.
So for whatever reason.
So we've got to keep motivating Mitch to do more Giants Lives. And so far, I've won more Giants Lives than Mitch.
Have you?
So, yeah.
How many do you have?
5.
Oh, that's good.
I think Evan has gone above me now, but I'm still.
But take out national ones.
Not all international.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
5 international.
Wow. 5. I mean, the fact that you beat Thor at his best, is that number 1 in your accomplishments?
I think winning Europe's was a big achievement, especially because Thor was dominating at the time. But there's been other, I've beaten pretty much everyone. The only guy I never beat was Brian Shaw. I came close a few times. But he competed a lot less as well, so it was harder to get a chance. But as I always say, Strongman's one of those sports that's about events, and different day, different competition can suit different people.
Do you reflect on your wins and put them in the context of who you beat, or is it just what's the title?
Who I beat is more important.
Yeah, okay.
I've won comps when I know I wasn't in my best shape.
Yeah,
that means less to me than beating someone. Like, I've come 4th in a comp, but performed really well. Yeah, and that to me was better than winning a show against lesser opposition or me feeling I wasn't in my best shape. Yeah. Now,
the approach to this one, I definitely, in terms of pro athlete and being able to make a paycheck, it's a part of it, but it's also like you've got Shaw and you have Rogue Invitational. We have 3 months between that. So you can't get out of shape in that time. Like, you can't afford to get out of shape.
No.
You can't afford to stop training hard. So I have to be in shape regardless of if I do this show or not. So for me, it's just a no-brainer. I just enjoy going out and competing. And then when I'm out competing at this stage in my career, I'm too proud to come out if I think I'm going to come fourth or fifth or I don't have a chance to win. I just think that's the expectation that other people put on me, and it's the expectation that I put on myself. And it's funny because I think sometimes the message gets conflated with, yeah, strongman is not the end all be all for me, but it's also incredibly important if I'm taking time to travel across the world to come and perform my best, and that's really important in this silo. Here's a question by, to be honest, a
young man.
Yes, bit of a loser. Should we skip it or should we do it?
I think you should do
it. Joe Schofield says, "Who's going to cause the biggest upset in the show today?"
Oof. It's an interesting one. There's a couple of good, names in there. I think there's a guy called Paddy Haynes who he'll struggle on the opening event, but is very good at the next four. The only thing is when you struggle on that first one and then you have to go first on the next event at this level, that can be a big disadvantage.
Not for him though, because he will have plenty of rest.
He'll have rest, but I don't mean in terms of rest. I mean in terms of you've got yourself, you've got Evan Singleton, you've got Luke Richardson coming after you. Yeah. It's a little bit different to say in England's strongest man. Just that level jump is a bit higher. So his strengths, although very good, they go from like at that level you're going to win those events. He's still probably not going to win those events in this competition. However, I think he's very good and has got a bright future. I always think Ivers is a dangerous athlete, and I think no one's talking about him. I actually think Ivers could end up fourth or fifth in this.
Right.
He's just a good competitor. And I think this kind of show his deadlift's not amazing, his log's not amazing, but the other three events he's very good at.
Yeah.
And he just knows how to pick up points.
Yeah.
I think someone like Thomas Evans could do well, but it's his first Giants Live and the pace of it might throw him off a bit. He's used to more Arnold's World's Strongest Man, Rogue, which is much slower paced in terms of competition.
But Tom's an athlete. Like, he comes from an athletic background. I think he's just been put in those shows. That's what he happens to get invited to.
The only thing is watching him, and I love Thomas, but watching him at the Shore Classic, he looked a bit beat up.
That's true.
And I don't know how recovered he is.
I'm pretty sure everyone.
That's the first comp I've ever seen you looking tired.
I think, honestly, brain as much as tired body, because the fans are at our hotel. You can't get away from anyone. It's so full on the whole time. So high stress. Yeah, and no break. Yeah. Like your break is a max keg toss, which is still stressful because you have to do it in such a precise manner. Yeah. But in terms of people who get upset at this show, the middle of the field is so stacked. In fact, I can't even think of the bottom of the field. No. You've got Paddy, you've got Ivers, you've got Tom Evans, you've got
there's a few athletes
Max with great events here.
There's a few athletes I think that we look in the past, they were doing really well and then they've had a bad couple of shows, but there's no reason why they can't come. Kevin, for instance, Kevin's not done that well in the last year, but he's had time to really prep for this. He could catch better guys sleeping a little bit.
Yeah, and Gab's in the same boat. Gab is 2 or 3 competitions removed from people wondering why he's not at the Arnold and at the Rogue.
I spoke to Gav yesterday, and I was honest with him. Like, he wasn't great at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah,
but end of last year and the beginning of this year, he looked like he was cracking into that top 10 guys in the world.
Yeah,
and you're talking like 5% at this level makes a huge difference, and being in that the right headspace, being well prepared, body feeling good, suddenly it can make a huge difference.
For sure. I'm chuckling because we have someone in the popcorn seats here. Mrs. Chalet, Mitch got special treatment on the axle. Morning, everyone. Yeah, there'll be no special treatment given to anyone today, unless, of course, I demand it and ask for it, in which case I will get whatever time that I'd like.
How long would you like if you have a second?
Potentially a snack between.
That
would be amazing if you're offering. That would be no problem.
I'm going to be busy, but Auntie Liz.
The thing about the 2 attempts, I think people say, well, say today, Paddy, if he misses the opening log, well, he might want 5 minutes between attempts. It's just sort of an etiquette thing where if you're going for a world record, no competitor is going to be upset if you take a few extra minutes. But if you're after Paddy or whoever wants to take extra time, if you're just going for your own personal pride and you're taking extra time, guys are going to get shitty with you. And that's really the only thing that's stopping you from doing it, is like, if I think I'm going in 1 minute and I'm going in 6 because you're hanging out for a while, that can get pretty frustrating. All right. Markets Mike. Mitch, were you naturally strong before Strongman when you ran? Have you always been relatively strong for your size? I put a full video about this, and I put a whole heap of my old training videos in this. We put out so much at the moment. It's probably like 10 videos back now. But was I always strong? Yes. The way that I put it is I was always the strongest, let's say, at my school, but I was not always the strongest in my county. You never would have looked at me as a teenager and gone like, that's going to be the world's strongest man one day. When I was running, my goal was to run a marathon under 305 and squat 405, like within the same week. I could not squat 405 when I was running. 405 pounds, not kilos. So like 180 kilo, I could not squat. When I bodybuilded, I couldn't bench 2 plates when I was down in my depleted state. So no, I haven't always been like this. There's actually strangely nothing that would have you identify me as someone who'd be the world's strongest man, other than being large and always athletic. Like in rugby, I don't know if I've ever told you this. In rugby, my position was 12.
Okay.
Which I love because there was a guy 125 pounds across from me who would shit his pants if I was running towards him, and it was tries all day. I think my best was 6 in a game.
I was a tight head prop.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that, especially old laws. Someone here says Iron Bibby made you look small.
Someone said like a small Vietnamese boy I saw somewhere.
Yeah, but Bibby makes everyone feel that way and look that way. I took a picture. I'll have to post it of us two like giving a bicep flex, and I'm gonna caption it like the 2 overhead world record holders, and it's a very, very different method of getting weight moving.
He's incredible.
Yeah. Mitch is twice as loud as Laws. 1 second, my ears hurt. The next here I can't. Sorry.
I'll try and speak a bit louder and turn Mitch down a little.
Am I too excited?
No, it's because you're ready to compete. It's different.
Death Metal Channel, how many events is it one day? It's a 1-day show with 5 events. So the events today starts with the log lift world championship. Then we go to bag toss, then deadlift, arm over arm, and then power stairs. Is deadlift and arm over arm? Have I flipped those?
I don't know the order. I think
I assume deadlift.
I think it's the log, the throw. I would guess then it's the deadlift.
Yeah. Giants, they put a lot of consideration into the order of events and how that's going to impact us. And if they do a max event, usually the next one is something on the easier side. So a bag toss would be relatively easier. Then deadlift will be harder. Arm over arm will be less systemically exhausting. Power stairs. So they're quite smart that way. I like this one. Liz, you make an income from Strongman and you're competing this weekend. Technically, you are a pro Strongman.
Liz is a pro athlete now.
Yeah. I haven't put this out anywhere, but I'm going to be at Liz's competition cheering her on. And I am extremely excited. If anyone here is planning on going, please, how do I say this politely? It's not about me. It's about the people competing. And yes, pictures and hellos are fine, but just general courtesy. Never ask for a picture or anything if someone is doing an event. I can't imagine how discouraged I would feel if I'm trying to hit a PB or something and people are turning the opposite way to pose for unrelated pictures. That's my only request.
Liz will be in the comments saying, "Oh, make sure you go and have a picture of Mitch so you're not watching her lift."
Yeah, no, make sure you watch her, take videos, post them on Instagram, successful or unsuccessful. Liz is looking better though.
She's done really well. She's had 10 weeks to train from complete beginner to trying to do her first competition. For 2 of those weeks, we were away on holiday. She didn't train at all. So she's had 8 weeks to train.
Yeah.
And, it's, yourself, she could really do with a lot more time just developing some basic strength in the gym. So we've been very pushed. We've done the best we can. She's pretty much hit everything now other than the deadlift in the gym. So if she can get a PB on each event, she's going to be over the moon. Yeah,
and I think of the 8 weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, she took full advantage of maybe 4 of them.
Yeah.
It's so good. Although the intention did work.
Do you know what's really good though? Like Liz knows a lot about Strongman, but she's never had that understanding of competing. And we'll do like our videos and we talk, and I've just got that experience in the arena, if you like, knowing exactly what it's like when you compete. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's easy for us to sit and watch as, I hate to say it, but like armchair fans. Is, you know, I won't criticize other athletes that haven't competed in that sport because I don't understand it. But when you've got that understanding, it does allow you a different perspective of what's going on. And I think it'll be good for her with what she does to just understand what it's like to compete.
Yeah,
I know, like from talking to her, the respect she has for the weights that the athletes lift is through the roof now. Because she's, you know, I'm struggling here with like 90, 100 kilo deadlift, and Lucy is deadlifting, you know, 320 kilos.
Yeah. Here's one. Apsir, Mitch, I've always wanted to be the strongest version of myself, but now finally gone to the gym after 10 years, only managed 70 kilos for 2 in deadlift. Long way to go for my goal. The important thing is always, though, to recognize that, like, you don't know where your maximum is. Maybe it's 400, maybe it's 150, but like pushing yourself towards your maximum is really all that matters for anyone at any level. And I think that's something that I pulled from you as much as anyone.
Yeah, it's something I kind of bang on about all the time. And I wish some of my other athletes would understand, like, genetics play a huge role in terms of where your limit is. You know, it's hard when you see someone like Mitch that's progressed so quickly, because people will go, oh, I've been training 10 years and I'm not at that level. Genetics are a thing, you know, it's tough. But if you focus on you getting better and you enjoy doing it, then it's worth doing. If you hate doing it because you're always comparing yourself to other people, then you're never going to have fun doing this stuff. So try to focus on enjoying it first and focus on your progress. And if you do that, who knows how far you can go, because you'll stick at it.
Yeah, 100%. And you'll stop yourself from being inappropriately proud as well. If I set a goal when I first started, it would have been to be a state champion. And if that was my firm goal, then why bother? Why continue? You shouldn't
have any sort of limitations on where you can get to, but you've got to focus on the next goal.
Yeah, for sure. Jorian, comments about the build-up of the show. He's talking about how much content we're both putting out right now.
Oh,
we're the kings of content.
We try to build the sport, don't we? We both kind of understand that without, like, both Mitch and myself are fans of other sports, and we enjoy that build up to an event. So we just try and do that with Strongman as well. Like, I know I like the UFC, for instance, and the build up is sometimes more exciting than the actual fight.
100%.
And it's the same with the Strongman. Just talking to fans, building that community, getting more people involved. We love doing that. And, you know, we understand without you guys, we're back to where I started, competing in a car park with your mum and dad watching.
Yeah.
I mean, Bonnie's here as well, but, you know, we can't just have Bonnie coming on the channel and being the only member.
As much as she might love Strongman, my mom can't feel the whole sport. Someone here says, gonna watch the show live tonight. Can't wait. That's a live stream is up on officialstrongman.com. Question, what events am I most excited for? Do you have one? Just generally that you're excited for?
I'm excited for the log because, you know, watching Bibby last year on the log was really good. I don't know if you remember, he broke the record, kind of shoulder barged into me, and then some woman just jumped on him. And I said, did you know that woman? No, it was just like some random woman was like attached to his leg, like a baby attached to its mum. And he's so big and strong, just like carrying this woman, no problem. But yeah, I think if he could break the record, that would be pretty cool.
There's a 95% chance that she had a boyfriend or husband with her. Imagine being that, dude. I gotta watch that back and see if we can see his face.
I think face. Definitely the log is the lift I'm looking forward to most. However, we've never seen the arm over arm in Giants live show before, not like this anyway. So that'll be good to watch. And I always like the power stairs. I think that's a fun one to finish on.
I think the arm over arm sticks out to me just because it's new. It's different. I came second at the arm over arm at Strongest Man on Earth, and I'd like to continue building my confidence on being one of the best in the world. I had the highest peak force output at Shaw, so I think that's going to help a lot.
This will be interesting as well. And arm over arm is always different. It's not like a deadlift where you just kind of know the weight, and it's, you know, you've got to be really good at adapting to different setups on arm over arm. So the one at the Strongest Man on Earth, super heavy. Super heavy. This one's going to be lighter. I think the first few pulls will be pretty heavy, but I'd expect everyone to finish this one. So you may find, you're better off kind of just going with faster arm pulls rather than kind of using all that leg drive once the vehicle gets moving. But you're going to have to watch what other people are doing, and then you've got to be smart in terms of picking up, right, this is an easier pull, I can kind of just use fast hand speed, or do I need to apply more leg power and back power to get the vehicle moving? And that's an interesting thing that a lot of people don't understand with strongman. They just think it's always the same event. I may one week get them doing it real heavy. It'll just be hand speed. And learning to get that hand-eye coordination quicker with a rope.
The thing I've been thinking about a lot with the arm over arm is if the truck is rolling and it rolls reasonably well, you can't afford to take time setting your hands up, not for performance sake, but by the time you've set your hands up properly, it's rolled out, so you can't pull it anymore.
If you try and go for like a big, powerful pull, you'll just stumble and lose time. You almost have to be super quick at that hand-eye coordination, just kind of pulling the rope quickly. But until you see someone do it, you don't know how hard it's going to be.
Of course.
So that's where the advantage comes in again of doing well on the previous event, so you can go towards the end and watch a few athletes go.
Which thankfully for me is deadlift.
Which you won last time with the Giants.
I won last time.
It's the lighter one this time.
Second at shot. It is the lighter one.
How do you feel about that?
It doesn't really make that much of a difference to me, man, to be honest. 10 kilos is what it is. I'd rather it be heavier, to be honest, because less reps is always nicer in competition. But I imagine it'll have to be maybe 9 to win.
I'm not sure what the record is with this setup. I think
Pavlo in 2023 at World Tour Finals.
11.
I believe 11. 11
Have you
or 12.
seen he's training again?
I've seen his 300 kilo. Yeah, but
he's already 180 kilos. That's big.
Yeah, I don't even know. Do you know exactly what happened to him?
He was in a car crash.
Yeah, but like
I don't know the details, but I know he's got a terrible scar on his stomach and on his knee.
Man, could you imagine if he's back up to the shape that he was in before with those massive scars? He would literally be Frankenstein reborn.
He needs to get rid of strongman and focus on doing some acting.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely. Question, how do you deal with jet lag? I think it's easier as you do it more. I was a little bit tired yesterday, but I slept great. I feel totally fine now. Maybe a bit of a lull in the afternoon, but when the show comes around, it's always time to go. Ben, which one is Hooper?
Someone said Liz looks different. She put a wig on you.
Clan Holmes, if you had to pick a non-strongman athlete to compete in strongman, who would it be? I know my answer very quickly.
A non-strongman athlete to compete in strongman. Who would yours be?
Joe Kovacs.
Joe Kovacs.
He's silver medalist 3 times in shot put. I did a video about Joe. He is absurd. He squatted 400 for 4 in sleeves. Have you seen this one?
No.
He benched 350 for 3 kilo.
353 kilos.
Yes.
That's impressive.
350 for a triple.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So I did the math. If he wanted to set the IPF world record and he just did slightly lower than his gym lifts, all he would have to do is an 800-pound deadlift and he'd beat Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. He'd be my pick.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, I think Lasha Talahadze, I think he could cross over well too. He's the Olympic lifter.
Do you think so?
Yeah, not so much now, but if he did it from a younger age, I think Olympic lifters have great explosive power, which crosses over well to strongman. I think I often find Olympic lifters cross over better than certain power lifters. Not always. This is, generalizing a little, but
he would just have to lose a bit of timber to be able to run around.
Absolutely, but yourself, you've put on timber to do this sport. It's more about potential than just crossing over and doing it instantly like that.
Yeah.
I just think someone like that with that kind of explosive power, trained the right way, could do very, very well.
The people who are overhyped in strength are NFL players. They are. We are. It's not even close. Like if you saw an NFL player deadlifting 650, 700, you'd be impressed. Very impressed.
Yeah. But also, how important is a deadlift to them?
Not at all.
So
not at all. And but same thing with you cover a whole bunch of movements, and like there's viral videos of Saquon Barkley squatting 6 plates. But for his weight class, 6 plates is actually terrible. The one guy, actually, there's a quarterback for the Eagles named Jalen Hurts, and he did powerlifting in high school for quite a while to help his football. He had a couple of state records. He was actually quite a good powerlifter before football, so he'd be the only one who would be like weight class athlete, maybe.
In terms of like watching people in the gym and seeing people do stuff, I'd rather see someone squatting a decent weight for 8 to 12 reps, or benching sort of, 400 pounds for, I'd find 400 pounds for 10 reps, for instance, just full range of motion, no real technique to it. More impressive than watching a powerlifter set up a short range of motion or a low bar squat that's kind of one rep. You've kind of taught yourself real specifics when you get to that point, and you actually, a lot of people that are really strong in those movements limit themselves on their athletic potential. Whereas someone that can just bang out reps with basic technique, I find it more impressive, and you usually see better crossover to different athletic sports.
Question. I'll leave this to you, and then I'll rebuttal if I feel the need. Do you think I can take on half Thor if his shoulder strength increases?
Yes, absolutely. We had this kind of question the other day in one of our lives, and it was Thor won 5 of the events at the Strongest Man on Earth. Like, I love Thor. I think he's an incredible athlete. 2018, the best year we've seen from a strongman. However, strongman is all about events, and Brian put the best he could put in. There was a deadlift for max. There was the weight for height. There was fingers, arm over arm. These are all events that Hafthor has always excelled at. So in that particular comp, if his pressing was better, yes, it would have been much closer. Potentially, he could have beaten you. But you could change those events and put a super yoke in there, or a farmer's walk, or, there's so many events that Mitch is still the best at. And this is the thing with strongman, is you're going to get different comps with different events, and it will suit one or the other more. And you can add other athletes into that kind of conversation. So I think, yes, Thor can definitely get to the point where he challenges Mitch and could beat him in the right comp. But likewise, I still think Mitch can beat him. They're both incredible athletes, and it's going to come down to who's peaked on the day, who performs the best, and who wants it the most at the end of the day.
I think the Rogue Invitational will open up some people's eyes that it's not just pressing events that I can beat him on. I think it's going to be, I'll leave it there. But I think the question has to be asked backwards. I've proven 3 times I can beat Thor. I think there's more pressure on him to prove that he could beat me. Not can I beat him if. Well, could Thor beat me if my deadlift was 1,500 pounds?
I got a lot of shit for saying you'd beat him on the squat. And obviously your squats were high. We've spoken about that.
Arguably.
But I kind of wish they weren't, because I still think Mitch would have won. I got a lot of shit for saying that. And I even got people commenting, and this is weird, because this guy commented saying that Thor and Thor's coach can out-squat you. Out-squat both of us. Now, I'm really good friends with Bass, Thor's coach. I'm good friends with Thor, so I don't like getting into these kind of things. But I went and looked at my head-to-head on squats against Thor. We squatted 4 times head-to-head. He beat me once. And he beat me because I did an extra rep that I shouldn't have done, so it was slower. So he didn't even beat me on weight. He was just slightly quicker. The rest of the time, we tied once, and I beat him the other times at squat. So I've got a good understanding of squatting in a strongman competition. And a powerlifting squat is different to squatting for reps, and it's different to squatting on a machine.
How does it work if you did an extra rep?
It was the barrels at World's Strongest Man.
Okay.
So I went down with the first rep. I came back up, and I just went down again. I didn't wait for the barrel to come in. So I ended up doing 8 reps instead of 7.
Gotcha.
A stupid mistake to make. I should have been more experienced than that. I should have been waiting for the referee to give me the down. I was just hyped up, and I was ready to. It actually felt so light that year. And it was. I could have banged out way more reps. But it is what it is.
How do you squat differently on a pendulum? Do you put your feet forward?
Feet slightly forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I used to dive bomb squat on a pendulum. Whereas on a free bar, I didn't. I'd be a bit more controlled on a free bar.
Sure. Other questions here. Let's see. Good luck tonight, Mitch. Your content is amazing. Your training programs are incredible. My gains have been crazy this year. Thank you very much. It's not we're not here to plug my program, but they are on moosecoaching.com.
Always nice when you hear people are getting great progress.
Yeah, and I think it's important. I have gone away completely from one-on-one coaching because it just doesn't make sense for me in my life anymore. But it just depends on the person, because I think there are a faction of people who just need a bit of guidance on what to do. And if that's the case, a program's a great shout. There's other people who need that relationship, are prepping for a show, need accountability, need someone there. And in that case, I've sent more than a handful of people over to Loz because you really get what you pay for. So if you're looking for an actual proper coach, I don't know if you're actually taking people on right now.
We're in for a couple if people want to
apply within. But yeah, just think, am I someone who wants to join a program, someone who wants to join a group of people, or am I someone who needs that individual one-on-one attention? Here we are. Do you think Maxime's going to be more dangerous in a lighter comp like this? I don't think weight has anything to do with it.
No, I think Maxime didn't perform that well at the Strongest Man on Earth, but then he was really good the comp before that.
Really, really good.
So yeah, I think Maxime has some good events at this.
He's not dissimilar to Tom, with like, you can't look at him and know what kind of version you're going to get, or you'll find out, and you'll find out he's going to be really good or really not good.
He's a hard person to predict, because I mean, he can come and you just absolutely surprise everyone. Other times he can be it depends on his headspace sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
If he's focused, he's dangerous.
Yeah, and I should clarify, like, old Tom. I don't think we see a version of Tom now, even though Strongest Man on Earth didn't go his way. He was still in great shape.
Yeah. Tom just made a mistake on those stones.
Yeah,
if it wasn't for that, he was top 3.
Yeah. We have the data. Mitch is 8% stronger than Thor on arm over arm. Now we know. All right, this is a good one. What show do you guys think is the best to the athletes, and which one is the best for the fans?
I don't know that there's a best. I think we see a lot of comps now where the athletes are treated well. I think in terms of fan experience, it depends what you're after. Like, the Giants Live shows are the best show. I think if you're coming to watch a show, they are the best show. There's other competitions that maybe have more fan interaction, where, I've been to some comps and there's Strongman set up and there's like a festival going on and there's things to do. So it depends what you're after, but there's lots of good opportunities. But in terms of just a show and production, Giants Live, I'd say, is the best. I know you love the Royal Apple. I love that show as well. But like, you go to some of the fit expos or stuff like that, where you can have more that you can do. So you can come and watch the Strongman, but then you can go and do something as well. Yeah. That's always good.
Yeah, I think the Royal Albert Hall and the Arnold would be, for me, the 2 fan ones that I would recommend. I would definitely not recommend World's Strongest Man for a fan.
Has that got better with because they do their fan sort of VIP area and stuff? I've not been since the.
Well, it's just not well structured. I mean, if you went out to World's Strongest Man, and maybe people really did enjoy themselves, but this year there was sets of bleachers set up so that you're mostly watching the athletes with their back to you, so not the best visual. Then you're on uncovered bleachers in extreme heat for 10 hours a day. Someone had an incident with heat stroke during the finals, which I'm stunned there was only one person. So I think it's getting marginally better, but in terms of other comp experiences, Strongest Man on Earth, all the Giants Live, Arnold, Rogue as well. Yeah, they're miles ahead in terms of taking care of fans. Is the best in this case.
Of competition?
No, I don't think he's talking performance. I think he's talking
just experience.
Yeah, I think Brian puts a lot of effort into making it the best for the athletes. The only thing at Shaw that doesn't make me say that is that the fans are all in our hotel. So it's we cannot get away. You're eating breakfast and taking pictures and signing stuff, and you're either in your hotel room or you're a little bit bombarded. So I'd say that's at Shaw that takes away from it. Giants for me is probably it, but because here I look forward to seeing all the staff. It's a really solid family of people. I know exactly who to go to for what problem. Flights have never really been they've never been a problem. Accommodations never been a problem. The routine, they just have such a smooth routine going that you know exactly what to open. Golfing would go like it's really warm. It's like you have to, in some circumstances, be that way.
The reason I just because I've never experienced those as an athlete. So when I go and work for Rogue, I stay in a different hotel.
Yeah.
So I was just wondering because obviously I know about Giants Live. I know what it was like at Worlds.
Yeah. No horrible experiences relating to competition. I've had horrible experiences experiences related to appearances and other things, but thankfully you guys ironed that out for us, so appreciate it. Cousin Brett, excited about Bibby doing the whole Vegas show.
That's going to be good.
Yeah.
Bibby doing the whole show will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
We were talking to him last night.
Made him promise.
The whole show will be an interesting one.
Yeah.
We were talking to him last night.
Made him promise. I made him promise.
Got to do at least one Atlas stone.
This yes, I will. Do you promise? He goes, I promise if I lift one stone, that is lifting the Atlas stones. Okay.
They did events for him in Vegas, other than maybe the stones.
Yeah. Bit of a shit comment here that I'd like you to address. I've got Maxime being injured as usual and wasting everyone's time. Memory is very short in Strongman. Max was on the podium at World's Strongest Man a few years back. He was third and then fifth and then didn't get invited to Worlds. He is well capable of a lot of things. And I'm not one to say that someone's capable if they're not. But Max is capable of a huge log, of a great arm over arm. He's one of the best throwers in the world, one of the best stones in the world.
Like, a month ago, he won the North American.
Yeah, by a mile.
With good athletes against him.
You know, absolutely
Lucas Hatton was in that
Lucas
competition.
Hatton.
And Lucas just came third at the Strongest Man on Earth.
Yeah.
So Maxime is a very capable athlete on his day. Unfortunately, Strongman's a brutal sport. And yeah, you can get injured. But no one wants to get injured. It's just part and parcel of, look at Alexei at the moment. Alexei's gone from being arguably the best guy in the world 3 or 4 years ago to he's struggling right now. But he's talented, and on his day, he's still going to be dangerous.
Yeah, Alexei's funny because I came up as Alexei came down. So at Worlds,
you've not seen him at his best yet.
I have.
Competed against him.
I have. At Worlds in 2, he won 3 events.
It was just the last event 2 he kind of died, didn't he?
And then he won Royal Albert Hall by a mile, where I came second.
Yes, yeah.
And then Shaw, he missed the podium, and that's when he started to decline.
Loz is big, Loz is Loz.
You can't compare Tom to Max. We could compare anyone to anyone. You can compare me to my grandmother. There are similarities between everyone in certain ways. With the next WSM season approaching, what? Okay. We'll roll with it. Which athletes in today's show do you think are under the most pressure to try to secure that World's invite? Okay, that's a good question. Actually, I like that.
It's interesting because I'd say Luke Richardson. He's probably got more pressure.
Is he under the most pressure, though?
I think probably on himself. He'll probably put the pressure on himself because you and Evan have already qualified for Worlds. Yeah. I think Luke feels that pressure. Although talking to him, he's coping with it really well, and he is an athlete that if he stays injury-free could definitely be, a guy that is a big threat at major competitions. Thomas Evans, I think he needs to, a good performance from him would secure himself an invite.
I don't think he needs it because he was, I think, decent at Shaw. He was decent at the Arnold.
But you know as well as me, what he does at Shaw doesn't matter for Worlds.
Arnold does. Rogue does.
Arnold's doesn't matter as much as well.
Well, I think after you break in, if you've been invited once and you show greatness elsewhere,
he's not made the final of Worlds yet.
No.
So there's no guarantee of him getting an invite back based off Arnold's or Shaw. And I think the fact that it's his first Giants, he'll want to do well.
He will.
If he comes top 5, he's probably going to secure himself a place at World's Strongest Man, and as well. So I think he'll want to come in and show that he is up there with the best.
I would say he'd get an invite anyway.
I'm not saying he wouldn't, but I'm just saying there's no guarantee. And I spoke to Gav yesterday. Gav missed out on doing Wales Strongest Man last week because he wanted to focus on this.
Yeah.
And he was worried because of missing out on that he wouldn't get invited to Britain's. I was like, Gav, you came second to Britain's this year. You're going to get an invite. Yeah. But as an athlete, until you get that invite, you always question it.
Yeah.
And, I think Thomas could be in that state just like Gav was. And I was always like that. Until I got that invite, I never took anything for granted.
But if we think about the guys here, me and Evan are going to Worlds. Tom is more than likely going to Worlds. Luke has to do something to get invited. Max has to do something to get invited.
Max will feel pressure because he didn't go last year.
I'd throw him in the ring for sure. For sure. Super chat, Oliver Brooks. pay-per-view trying to cheer me up. My Achilles ruptured.
Oh, that's
well, unfortunately, the pay-per-view will not heal your Achilles.
Fix it, but hopefully it'll cheer you up a little.
Yeah, shame. Go, just have a look at guys like Trey Mitchell.
Trey Mitchell's recovery has been amazing.
Yeah.
Kilishkovsky's recovered very quickly from his Achilles issue.
Yeah, but when are we going to see him again? Oh, actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but apparently he's going to do a Giants.
Apparently
at some stage.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. Cousin Fred, 5 more memberships. Fred, you're on a roll. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Tim Wiseman with a super chat. Just want to say best of luck today, Mitch. And hey, Coach Loz.
Hey, Tim, hope you're doing well. He's got a competition coming up, I think, in November or sometime coming up.
Gavin says, you can't buy tickets online today, but can you turn up and pay for them at the box office for any tickets?
I believe you can turn up and pay on the door to
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
I believe so. I would check on Giants Live's website, but
surely they have the infrastructure for that. That'd be horrible.
If there's tickets available, then you'll be able to get them.
Yeah.
It's not sold out, so
Yeah, yesterday it looked like it was about 90% full, but I doubt 10% have sold in the last little bit. So come on down. Just say, Gavin, if they say no, just say you're my friend.
Just say Nixon.
I hope there'll be a pro strongman event in my hometown, Miles County, New York State. I only have fun there. Trust me, I know how to enjoy myself. I think the Arnold's going to Miles County next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
No.
What the hell have you said? I should have known.
All right, guys, I'm going to get ready for the show. Loz has to hair and makeup.
I'm doing presenting today.
I know.
5.
I know.
I'm not on the live stream, unfortunately, guys. You don't get me. You'll have Nicola and Terry on the live stream. I am a buff, bold Radzi today.
Yeah,
because he's at the Paralympics.
Well, you'll get to see. They'll get to spend time with you over the holidays then.
Yeah,
on Channel 5.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Get to see me at Christmas.
Amazing. All right, guys. Thank you very much for hopping on. As per usual, lift heavy, be kind, and we'll catch you soon.